Hello everyone, Prem Rawat here. I just thought I'd take this time and address everyone. We're in the midst of coronavirus and it's very hard and very trying times for a lot of people. And if some way I can alleviate the load, the burden, the concern, of course we all need to be concerned, but if I can somehow alleviate the burden that people feel on their shoulders, then it would be wonderful. So, what's going on? Well, it's a little virus that's taking over, and there are so many commentaries, there are so many ideas that people have, there's so much misinformation, there's good information, there's bad information, and somehow there's very little clarity. There's very little understanding of what really it's all about. Now, has anything changed? Well, in one way, everything has changed. But every human being wants to feel secure. Everyone wants to feel good. Everyone wants to feel free. So, in that sense, nothing has really changed. Because this is when everything was fine, when coronavirus was not an issue. People wanted to feel that too. But today, because this burden is upon us and it's like the fear comes in. And of course you can let the fear take over, and fear would love to take over. But let me just remind you of something. There's something really wonderful inside of you, and it's called courage. In these dark times, in these very concerning times, we need to be using courage, not fear, to live through this. We need the light that shines from within our hearts to illuminate this very dark jungle out there. We need to live every day with a sense of purpose, a sense of clarity, a sense of understanding, a sense of just not doubt, but clarity. And this is what I talk about all the time. But in these times, these elements that we have inside of us really need to shine. Every day, it's not a question of, today is not important. No, today is important. And all of a sudden, the world being in pretty much a lockdown, just lockdown everywhere, just about. What do you do? What do you think about? And there's just so much misinformation on television, on social media, and so on and so forth. But there is a truth inside of you, and you need to let that truth come out. There is a reality inside of you, and you need to let that reality come out. So the contrast, I would say, is immense right now, because there is so much that is, real concerning stuff that is going on, this coronavirus, that we need to isolate ourselves, and that we need to make sure that we are healthy. But we have to be healthy not only physically, but we have to be healthy here too, in our minds. So all of these issues really come into play. It's like, okay, how do we do this? How do we take the good and make the good really come out? How do we enjoy ourselves in these dire circumstances? So sometimes, you really have to just step back and say to yourself, what is this all about? I am here. I am a little part in this puzzle. Of course, you don't want to hurt other people, so you don't want to go and become a person who contaminates more people. And the best way to do that is to isolate. The guidelines are being provided. And some of it makes complete sense. What do you rely on? Well, for once, you also have to look at inside of you. You have to rely on yourself too. Your heart, your understanding, your desire for clarity, your desire to be happy. You have to rely on that. You have to accept that this is a very basic thing. Not just be drowned in fear, drowning in like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Now, you should be concerned. But at the same token, there is something very beautiful that is being said from your heart, from yourself. And you need to include yourself in this one. Don't exclude yourself. You need to include yourself in this one. You need to include that beauty that you have inside of your heart on this one. Because what's going to happen? Well, we see the numbers from China. And this is where the epidemic started. But at the same token, they clamped down and they were able to manage it to the point where, at this moment anyways, the numbers, people dying and new cases have significantly dropped down. Can we do this? Can we win this war? Yes, we can win this war. The only thing is, it would be nice if we didn't have such high numbers, or, these enormous numbers were not there for people dying. But we human beings have to bind together. We have to come together. And we have to come together in a very funny way. And we have to come together by being together ourselves, even in isolation. We have to be complete. We have to be whole and not do silly and stupid things. But at the same time, will human beings win this race? Will win this war? And yes, yes, we have to. We have to go on. And the way we can win it is to be sensible, to be clear, not be in doubt, not be in anger, not be in frustration, not be finger pointing at each other. It is time. This little virus, which is not a living thing, it's just some RNA wrapped around in some fat, it has done for this world something really amazing. It is calling upon us in its very unfortunate and harmful way to come together. All of us helping each other around the world, spreading good news, not rumors, not wrong information, but spreading the news that use courage, use clarity, use that good stuff that you have in you. And then and only then I really feel that not only can we win this, but we can really win this war, really, really win, and not be shortchanged by it, not be smacked by it, not be hurt by it, but come together. And it is this time to rely on yourself, to do not silly things, as the guidelines are, isolate, stay home. Don't spread this to other people. Maintain your distance, to follow these simple guidelines. But at the same token, also be visiting our heart, visiting ourselves, visiting our understanding, and just from clarity, coming out from clarity, to be able to see that yes, I'm still alive and my aspirations have not changed. So whatever it may be, and people, have their ideas of how this is going to happen and how that should happen. And doctors are coming together, medical staff is coming together to help people. And we need to be helpful towards them. We need to be helpful towards each other. This is time for humanity to really kick in, and for us humans to really take on those super nice attributes that we have as human beings and offer that to each other. Offer each other kindness. Offer each other understanding. This is the time for empathy. This is the time for clear thinking. This is the time for courage. And if we can have that, then I think we can make a huge difference for ourselves, for every single day that we are alive, even without the coronavirus, because our world needs to be, with or without coronavirus, we need to be in that clarity. So I hope all the things that I have said, something makes sense to you, and you take that to heart, and no reason for fear, because fear doesn't do anything, except just clamps you down. What you need is courage. Understand the complexity of the problem, understand the severity of the problem, but instead of giving fear the rise, give clarity the rise, give courage the rise, give understanding the rise, not the doubt. And these are the things that can make a difference in every single day that we have. Now, I'm going to try to communicate with you as much as I can. And this is the first attempt at it. I'm doing this, in a very simple way. I set up my little tripod, I set up my little iPhone, and this is what it's recorded on. I don't have extra lights. I'm just in this room, and it's a pretty plain background. So to me, background doesn't matter. The lighting doesn't matter. Just so far I can reach and give you some comfort, give you some understanding, give you some clarity so that you can have a better time of this, because these are trying times. There's no question about that. And not have to be living in fear, but come from courage, come from clarity, come from understanding. And yes, we will win. We will win. We will win. I have been affected by this very much, just like everyone else. I had gone to Europe. I had done a few events, and then Europe was coming into a lockdown. So I decided, well, I've got some time and may as well go to South America, because not much in terms of coronavirus was happening there. So I flew to Brazil, and then when I was in Brazil, amazingly, then the next day or so, I was supposed to go to Argentina, and Argentina went into lockdown. No more meetings, no more this. It's okay. And I didn't really want to go to Uruguay because, again, I didn't want to be doing meetings and spread this thing. So a lot of these things have been happening, and finally, not too long ago, I got to the United States. I haven't yet been home. So I'm still a few thousand miles away from home. But I am in America, and I hope I can get home soon. And of course, I'm going to isolate myself. But that doesn't mean that I can't talk to you. That doesn't mean that I can't send this message out to you wherever you are. And maybe I can make a difference. And I will certainly make as much time as I can available to you. And I hope that these broadcasts get to you, and you can enjoy them, like them, and have a good time with them. So thank you. I'll see you later.